This is Tim Staton with Tim Stating the Obvious. What is this podcast about? It's simple. You are entitled to great leadership everywhere you go, whether it's to church, whether it's to work, whether it's at your house, you are entitled to great leadership. And so in this podcast, we take leadership principles and theories and turn them into everyday, relatable, and usable advice.
And a quick disclaimer, this show, process, or service by trademark manufacturer, or otherwise does not necessarily constitute an implied endorsement of anyone that I am employed by or favors them in representation. The views are expressed here in my show are my own expressed and do not necessarily state or reflect those of any employer.
Hey, and welcome back to another episode. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm sitting here next to my Army Christmas tree, and we're in the holiday season. We're coming up on Christmas. We just passed Thanksgiving. And I really just wanted to do an episode and say thank you to all my guests who have been on the show this past year, and to all of you who have subscribed and liked and followed on all the different platforms. Thank you for making this show what it is and having it grow tremendously over this past year. So season 6 has been amazing, and I'm just really humbled and grateful for everything that you have done to turn this show into a place where we could share ideas, we could talk to each other, we could collaborate, and we get to know each other a little bit better, as well as highlight some of the great things that everybody else is doing. So thank you for making that possible. And we're going to go into season 7. Starting in January. We have a jam-packed season coming up for season 7. We're going to be releasing 2 episodes a month for interviews. We're going to be doing, of course, my shows where we're going to have a monologue. You get to hear from me and a couple of other branch out segments. We're going to be talking about nutrition and fitness, and as well as highlighting veterans and what they bring to the leadership space, what they've learned from their time in service, and what they've brought to entrepreneurship, what they've brought to their organizations and their business and the civilian workspace. So we're going to highlight that this year, as well as do the traditional shows that we've already done. I estimate we're probably going to have over 50 episodes this year for season 7. And it's amazing to think about. Over the last several years, I was, working hard to get you 25 episodes a year, and that was strictly audio. And now this past year, I said, you know what? I really want to deliver 36 high quality, good episodes. We did the Indiegogo campaign, and we were able to raise some money to be able to get you the scenery and the backdrop and a couple of pieces of equipment at upgrade. So thank you for everyone who supported that and doing that. We released a book this year in 2025, Life Skills That You Didn't Know You Needed, which is doing very well on Amazon. There'll be a link in the description. And then based on that book, we're also offering this year a course on how you can implement and develop those life skills coming up in 2027. The link is also in the description of this. If you're interested, you can go click there, and it'll be another great community where we can all come together, learn and grow and develop ourselves moving forward. So I'm really excited about where we're headed in season 7 going into 2026. So thank you. Thank you for making this what it is. I cannot say that enough. It's so heartfelt and warming to know what we're growing here and where we're going in the future. It's all thanks to you and what we've done. I just kind of want to give you a glimpse of what we're going to be closing out season 6 with. You have this episode. The next episode, we're going to be talking to Amos Belongo, and he talks about intergenerational communication. And what we've learned in the last episode from Jennifer Hawkins is that, people are leaving the workplace and they're leaving it faster than you thought. So we need to get after talent development. We need to get skills development. We need to get after executive level leadership skills, strategic level thinkers, higher level thinkers, critical thinkers. We need to get those out there. But Amos is going to be talking about how do we bridge that gap in communication between, the Gen Z, the millennials, the Zennials, the Gen Xers, and then of course the baby boomers. And we all speak differently. It's gonna be great as we round out 2025 going into 2026. And in 2026, we're going to start January off. Let me pull up here from my trusty book because my brain can't remember it all. So in 2026, we're going to start off in January with Aslak De Silva and his black belt leadership, what he's learned from being a fighter as he's learned in martial arts, all of his skills, becoming a CEO, and how that translated over. We have a great conversation with him. He's from Finland, wonderful gentleman, and you guys are going to get to meet him in January. Also in January, we're going to meet Pavel Denyek, and he wrote a book for his kids because he's from the Czech Republic. He wrote a book about the importance of entrepreneurship, and it's not going to be as easy as you think. His kids were thinking, oh, I'm going to start a business and have all of this easy money coming our way. And he's like, no, I don't think so. Let's write a book and a blueprint of how you can start a business and the traps and the pitfalls that you fall into and really, get after being an entrepreneur. And the lessons that he learned throughout his life, and then the lessons he's imparting upon his kids as well. And they're teenagers getting ready to go off into college. Great guy, great conversation. That's where we're going to kick January off with our international crew from Finland and from the Czech Republic. And in February, we're going to have Mark Morgenfra, and we're going to be talking about how you don't need to fire folks, right? Some people you do, but not everybody. And how do we realign people in our organizations to really get after the things that we need to get after? And then we're also going to be talking with Kyle McDowell, and he wrote a book about we and all the principles that he brings to play with that. That's also a really good conversation that we had. Then we're going to be talking with Hannah. Hannah's going to be talking about how, we can struggle through things. We have adversity in life and how we can overcome those and turn our weaknesses into strengths and overcome them and then be better leaders on the outside because of that. Then we're going to be talking with Tildette. She's really an interesting person to talk with. We're going to be talking about how roses really kind of set the foundation for her to be a leader and what family business is like and how to have a family business without ruining your family. So we're going to be talking about that in March. April, we're going to be talking about AI and how to question AI and the future of where it's going with critical thinking and how we need to be developing ourselves as critical thinkers. Then we talked with Rich Plumery, and Rich is going to be talking about what he learns about hands-up leadership and how we need to be uplifting people on our teams and what he's learned over the years of service that he's had at being an entrepreneur and an executive. And I'm going to stop it at April because we still have many more throughout the course of the year that we already have recorded and queued up for you coming up in season 7. That's just the tip of the iceberg of the folks that we have on the show, the quality of folks that we have on the show coming on, and all of their links are going to be in the bio down below so you can get a kind of snippet of them ahead of time. I'm super excited about season 7 and where we are going with that. We usually talk about goals, objectives, planning, and how to set goals and how to not fall victim to the New Year's resolutions and how we can really shape our futures without falling victim to it. I want to take a different approach to it because I feel like it's a broken record. We talk about it over and over and over and over again. I really want to focus on the number 1440. Everyone has the same 1440 minutes in a day. That's all you have. We all have the same amount. We're all born with the same amount of minutes in a day. Unless you were kind of like born, after midnight, then it kind of dwindles down. But in a 24-hour period of time, you still have 1440 minutes, 1,440 minutes in a day. So why does it seem like some people can do way more with 1440 than other people can? We're struggling with the rat race and the hamster wheel of I can't get out. I can't get ahead of time. I can't make the most efficient use of my time. My time is being taken up by all of these things. Well, I want to talk about how you can prioritize your time, how we can prioritize our time, and how we can also make the most use of our time. And then I want you to think about how I could possibly be a time traveler and buy back time so that way I can get more time back in my day. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, people say time is money all the time. Well, time is money. Time is money. No, I wholeheartedly believe time is infinitely more valuable than money. And it, so that goes into everything. So if I'm working a 9-to-5 job and I'm working 40 hours a week and I have a set salary, or I have an hourly wage that I'm working for, my time is money, right? I'm exchanging my time for a limited amount of money. And in that case, what that means is you feel like then when you save up all that money and you want to buy a car, you feel like it's a life-changing event because you spent your life working to save that money. And then it comes time to cash in and you buy a depreciating asset for something that you cannot get back. You've already spent that time on things that you cannot get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why when I produce every episode, I want to make sure it's full of value for you because you can't get that time back. When you're watching this, you can't get that second back. You can't get that 2 seconds back. Even if you rewatch this episode, you're not going to get that time back. It's gone. So are you spending your time on things that are going to increase value in your life, are going to increase your presence in your life, or going to increase your vibration in life, right? And I say that because everything is made up of matter and matter's frequency all vibrating together, right? What are you spending your time on? And is it going to have an impact on your future where you can buy back time? And that's how we can time travel. I read an interesting book about biblical principles of business and why people believe that every person is put on this earth for a mission. And I wholeheartedly believe that myself. Everybody has a mission and a purpose of why you're here. And if you're a mechanic and you're the best mechanic there is, well, guess what? I want you to work on my car. I want you to fix my car and take care of my car because I wasn't put on this earth to be a mechanic. Like my hands do not fit like in the engine very well. Every time I try, I get my hands all scraped up and busted up. In fact, I literally just had to change my light bulb in my van the other day. Yes, I have a van that I drive. I'm cool with that because I got kids and I like it. Judge me on it in the comments. Go ahead. I don't care. So the other thing is that when I put my hands in there to change the light bulb, they got all busted up. I did it because it was super simple and easy, but it also took time for me to do that. Had I taken it to the dealership when I was doing my oil change, said, oh, by the way, my light bulb's out. Can you change my light bulb too? I could be doing other things while the car is being worked on. I could have had discovery calls. I could have sent out emails. I could have talked to family members. I could have done every other thing with that hour and a half the car is being worked on other than working on that car. And I have also found when I work on things and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to save some money. I'm going to do it myself. It takes me twice as long to do it because I'm not skilled or trained in it. Like, yes, I can fix an air conditioner. I can troubleshoot an air conditioner, but it's going to take me 4 times as long to find out the problem than somebody who's skilled and trained in it. Can I change the oil in my car? Yes, I can, but it's going to take me 20 times longer to do it because I don't have the right tools because it's not something I invested in. It's not something that I was put on the face of this earth to do. And so therefore it takes me more time to do it. And when we buy back our time, when we help build this community and say, you know what, you were put on this earth to do this. I value you and your time. I'm going to pay you for it. And that way I get my time back to do other things I want to do. You know, same thing when it comes to cooking. Same thing when it comes to buying your groceries and where you buy your groceries and the time travel there and the time travel back. I'm not saying we should all, do the DoorDash or delivery service or whatever. I'm just saying that we need to evaluate what's important in us in our life. Are we really spending time on the things that matter? How often do you sit and you scroll on your phone, just mind numbing yourself into oblivion because you really deep down don't like your life that you have? So you're like, you know what? I'm just going to keep scrolling and watching everybody else enjoy their life because that's one, fictional. Their life isn't what it always is online. And 2, it makes me feel better about myself because now I can just dream with them while they're living their dream. I'm numbing myself down because I want to then go to sleep and start my whole routine over again tomorrow. And is that a place that you really want to be going into 2026? Is that really what you want to do moving forward? So my goal for next year is how do I get more time? How do I maximize my time of extreme value from morning to end? And how can I deliver the most value to humanity from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep? How can I maximize that? How can I maximize the most quality time I can with my wife, with my kids? How can I maximize that time? Because I can never get it back. I'm never going to get that time back. You're never going to get that time back. So how do we maximize that? And we can do it by delegating. We can do it by buying back our time, right? Delegation is a huge one. It does several things. It develops people. It trains people. It empowers people. It shows that you trust them, right? We can do all the delegating that we want. Because the moment you pick it up and do it yourself, you're saying this specific thing is so important that I must do it because the outcome result is tied to a specific thing that is more valuable than my time. I want you to think about that. Every time you do something, you're saying the thing that I am currently doing that I'm never going to get back is infinitely more important than the thing that I'm not doing because this is what I have to do. So delegate it. There's plenty of people who want to do it and who can do it, so delegate. And it's not a slight on anybody or anything, but we all have phases in life, and we all need to be developed. Delegation's a good tool. Buy back your time. If you don't have to do it and you have some discretionary funds and you could pay somebody else to do it, pay someone else to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why there's multiple people on the face of this earth, because everyone can be blessed by each other if we all just adequately treat each other that way. I fully agree with that. And if you think you're like, oh, well, I'm to this status or I'm to that status to do those things. You're not above anything. You should serve. You should serve and you should give back and you should invest your time into other people in delivering value for them and solving their problems. That's what you should do. So when it comes for our goals into 2026, don't base them on time, but think about what you're going to be spending your time on this year. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is the thing that you're going to do going to increase the value in your life, going to increase the value of others around you, or is it going to depreciate the value in others? Is it going to lessen them and lessen what they're doing? Because we often do that, right? It's transactional. We need to start getting our minds wrapped around what can I do to provide most value and for time spent on doing something. So that is how I'm going to leave 2025 going into 2026 with that simple question. What are we going to do with the 1440 that we are entrusted with? And how are we going to make the best use and time of that going forward into 2026? I really appreciate everything that you do on a daily basis. Whatever it is that you do, I want you to know that I truly appreciate you and what you do. And if you got some value out of this, if you don't mind, like hitting the like and subscribe button and all those other things, so that way you know when we produce another episode. And I just want to say, have a Merry Christmas this year, and I hope you have an amazing new year and enjoy the rest of the year that you have with your family, with everyone that you can surround yourself with, because 2026 is going to be amazing. So thank you.
As always, thank you for stopping by and checking out this episode and listening to it. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Before we go, I'd like to ask a favor of you if I could. If you could please share this episode with one or two people who you think might like this topic. If you haven't followed or subscribed on the platform that you're listening to, and hit all the bells and icons and all the whistles so that you know that when we post another episode, you'll be alerted, please go ahead and do all that before you go. If you got some value out of this episode, please leave a review or a comment so we can help spread the show to other people who might be interested in the topics that we've talked about here today, but may not have found our show yet. Again, thanks for stopping by. I'm Tim Staton.